Forget the gym. These 7 bodyweight exercises build insane muscle. If you believe the gym is 100% necessary to build an aesthetic and muscular physique, stop. The gym is just an environment, not an obligation. Elite athletes, gymnasts, and special forces soldiers have been proving this for decades, building impressive bodies using only their own body weight. The thing is that the fitness industry has sold the idea that without expensive equipment and memberships, you won't get far. That talk that sounds like, look, without access to such machine that activates the fiber at a certain angle, your muscle will have incomplete development and a bunch of other nonsense. Your body is already the most complete resistance machine that exists, so today, you'll see 7 bodyweight exercises that build more muscle than many weighted movements. And the best part is that these exercises cover practically all muscle groups: chest, back, shoulders, arms, core, and legs. Before we start, please tell us through the comments your name and the city where you're watching our content from. We'd love to know. Now let's get to the exercises that will transform your body using only your body weight. Exercise number 1, Pike push-up. This is our list's dedicated shoulder exercise, and it's simply devastating for building impressive deltoids. The Pike push-up is a vertical pressing movement that intensely works the shoulders, upper chest, triceps, and trapezius, all the muscles responsible for the appearance of wide and developed shoulders that create that athletic look. What makes this exercise particularly valuable is its ability to mimic a military press, but with a crucial advantage. The steeper the angle, meaning the closer the feet are to the hands, or the higher they are elevated, the greater the resistance applied to the deltoids. Electromyography studies show that the Pike push-up creates high levels of deltoid activation comparable to dumbbell presses, but with an additional benefit, it builds incredible shoulder stability because the rotator cuff muscles work continuously to keep the joints secure throughout the entire movement. Core engagement is also huge, transforming this into a highly efficient compound exercise. To execute it correctly, start in a traditional push-up position, then walk your hands toward your feet until you form an inverted V with your body. Keep your legs as straight as possible, look at the floor between your hands, bend your elbows, allowing your head to descend toward the ground, keeping your elbows pointing back and not to the sides. Descend until the top of your head almost touches the floor, then push back to the starting position. Breathing is fundamental. Inhale on the descent and exhale on the effort of the ascent. Start with 3 to 4 sets of 6 to 10 repetitions, focusing first on perfect technique before progressing to more difficult variations. To increase difficulty, elevate your feet on a bench or box. The higher, the more the exercise approaches a handstand and the greater the load on the shoulders. The main errors to avoid are letting your back arch, which takes tension off the shoulders and overloads the lower back, allowing the elbows to open too much to the sides instead of going back, and descending too quickly without control in the eccentric phase. Contraindications include rotator cuff injuries, shoulder bursitis, serious cervical problems, or any condition that limits shoulder mobility. If you feel sharp pain during the movement, not just muscular discomfort, stop immediately and consult a professional. Exercise number 2, triceps dip. The triceps dip executed on a bench, chair, or sofa is one of the most effective arm builders you can do at home. This exercise predominantly works the triceps, especially the long head of the muscle, which is responsible for much of the mass and volume of the back of the arm. Additionally, it intensely recruits the lower pectoral and the anterior portion of the deltoids, making it a valuable compound movement. The main benefit lies in the ability to generate high muscular tension using only body weight, and the ease of progression by simply extending the legs further forward or elevating the feet. To execute correctly, sit on the edge of a bench, sturdy chair, or firm sofa. Place your hands beside your hips with fingers pointing forward. Slide your hips off the seat while keeping your hands in place. Keep your feet supported on the floor with knees bent for beginners or legs extended for greater difficulty. Lower your body by bending your elbows until your arms form approximately 90 degrees, then push back to the starting position. Throughout the entire movement, keep your torso as vertical as possible and elbows close to your body. Perform 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 15 repetitions, controlling especially the descent phase. For progression, first master the version with bent knees, then extend your legs, and finally elevate your feet on another bench to increase the load. The main errors to avoid are moving the elbows too far from the body, which transfers excessive tension to the shoulders and increases injury risk, descending much beyond 90 degrees of elbow flexion, especially if you don't have good shoulder mobility, and using momentum or swinging your body to complete the repetitions. Contraindications include shoulder problems, especially instability or rotator cuff injuries, elbow pain or tendinitis, and any condition that causes pain in the glenohumeral joint during shoulder extension movements. Exercise number 3, decline push-up. The choice of this exercise instead of the traditional straight push-up is based on a crucial fact. The upper chest, also known as the clavicular portion, is the hardest part of the pectoral to develop, and this is without a doubt one of the best exercises to specifically attack this region. A study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research demonstrated that decline push-ups increase upper chest activation by approximately 30% compared to traditional push-ups, while maintaining high activation of the pectoral as a whole. This happens because the working angle changes when the feet are elevated, shifting more load to the upper portion of the chest and creating a more favorable force vector for this region. Besides the upper chest, the exercise intensely recruits the core, anterior deltoids, and triceps. To execute correctly, place your feet elevated on a bench, box, or any stable surface, assuming a push-up position with your hands on the floor, spread slightly wider than shoulder width. Keep your body completely straight from heels to head, retract your scapulae, pulling your shoulders back and down, lower your body in a controlled manner until your chest almost touches the floor, keeping your elbows at approximately 45 degrees relative to your body, then push explosively back to the starting position. Remember that the higher the feet, the more difficult the variation, and the greater the recruitment of the upper chest. The main errors to avoid are letting your hips drop, creating a broken line in the body, which nullifies core work and can injure the lower back, opening the elbows too much to the sides instead of keeping them at a 45-degree angle and not descending completely, limiting range of motion and reducing gains. Execute 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions with absolute focus on perfect form. Contraindications include shoulder injuries, rotator cuff problems, wrist pain that intensifies with load, and any condition that increases intracranial pressure, since the decline position partially inverts blood flow. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to science-based information is what will make you progress with health in the long term in the world of bodybuilding. Exercise number 4, Farmer's Walk. The Farmer's Walk is a fundamental exercise that many consider only for strength, but which is actually an exceptional builder of muscle mass throughout the entire body. This movement simultaneously works the trapezius, forearms, core, spinal erectors, quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes, making it one of the most complete exercises that exist. The benefit goes beyond hypertrophy. It dramatically improves grip strength, builds core stability like few exercises can, and develops functional muscular endurance that transfers to practically all daily activities. To execute at home, you can use heavy backpacks, bags with books, water jugs, or any object that allows you to hold firmly. Hold the weights at your sides with arms extended. Keep your chest elevated and shoulders back. Contract your abdomen, creating a solid wall of stabilization, and walk with controlled and deliberate steps, maintaining upright posture throughout the entire course. The secret is not letting your shoulders fall forward and keeping the core extremely contracted as if you were about to receive a punch in the stomach. The main errors to avoid are walking too fast, sacrificing form, allowing the shoulders to roll forward, and not maintaining constant core contraction. For training volume, perform 3 to 4 sets of 65 to 130 feet, or if you're in limited space, walk for 30 to 60 seconds. Rest between sets should be 60 to 90 seconds. Contraindications include active disc herniation, serious lower back problems that worsen with axial load, and severe shoulder or trapezius injuries that intensify when carrying weight. Exercise number 5, inverted row. If pull-ups are the vertical pull that builds thickness in the back, inverted rows are the horizontal pull that creates width and impressive postural strength. This exercise intensely works the middle back, rhomboids, middle and lower trapezius, posterior deltoids, and biceps, teaching proper scapular mechanics that are essential for long-term shoulder health. The beauty of this exercise lies in its ability to be adjusted for any level. The more horizontal the body, the more difficult the movement. The more vertical, the easier. Essential for balancing development, since most people do a lot of pushing through push-ups and presses and little pulling, creating muscular imbalances that lead to rounded shoulders, poor posture, and eventually pain. To execute, you need a low pull-up bar, edge of a sturdy table, or even underneath a common table. Lie under the bar, grab it with hands spread shoulder-width apart, keep your body completely straight from heels to head, and pull your chest toward the bar, retracting your scapulae and keeping your elbows close to your body. The most important phase is scapular retraction at the top of the movement, where you really squeeze the scapulae together. When you include inverted rows in your routine, you're not just building muscle, but correcting harmful postural patterns. The main errors to avoid are not fully retracting the scapulae at the top, allowing the hips to drop, breaking the body line, and using momentum instead of deliberate muscular control. Execute 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 15 repetitions. To progress, simply make the body more horizontal by elevating the feet. Contraindications include rotator cuff injuries that worsen with pulls, elbow problems like epicondylitis, and wrist pain that intensifies when holding the bar. Exercise number 6, Bulgarian split squat. One of the most effective leg builders on the planet, and that's no exaggeration. The Bulgarian split squat isolates each leg individually, forces the stabilizers to work intensely, and creates intense muscular tension without compressing the spine like heavy traditional squats. What many people don't know is that since you work one leg at a time, it supports practically all the body weight, effectively doubling the load on quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes. Additionally, it dramatically improves balance and eliminates strength imbalances between legs that go unnoticed in bilateral exercises. To execute, position yourself with your back to a bench or chair at approximately 24 inches distance. Place the top of the rear foot on the bench. Keep your torso upright and core contracted. Descend by bending the front knee until the thigh is parallel to the floor or slightly below. Making sure the front knee doesn't go much past the toes, then push forcefully through the front heel to return to the starting position. A powerful secret, slowing down the tempo, using 3 seconds to descend and a 1-second pause in the bottom position, drastically increases time under tension and multiplies hypertrophy gains. Execute 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions per leg. For progression, first master the pattern without additional weight, then hold dumbbells, heavy backpacks, or water jugs in your hands. Main errors to avoid are leaning the torso too far forward, which takes tension off the quadriceps and overloads the lower back, allowing the front knee to cave inward during the movement, and not descending enough, limiting amplitude and results. Contraindications include knee injuries, especially meniscus or ligament problems, hip pain that worsens with deep flexion, and severe balance problems that increase fall risk. Exercise number 7, hanging leg raise, the absolute king of core exercises. This movement builds not just the rectus abdominis that forms the visible six-pack, but also the deep core stabilizers, hip flexors, and grip strength. It's superior to floor abdominal exercises because you move the entire lower body against gravity, while the core works to stabilize the spine in a hanging position, creating much greater metabolic demand and muscular tension. The anti-extension demand, which is the ability to prevent the spine from arching during the movement, forces the deep core muscles to work at maximum, developing not just aesthetics, but also real protection for the spine. A strong core protects the spine during every movement you make, both in training and in daily life. To execute, hang from a pull-up bar with hands spread shoulder-width apart. Keep your shoulders active by pulling your scapulae down and not hanging passively. Contract your core. Raise your legs, keeping knees extended or slightly flexed until they're parallel to the floor or higher if possible. Hold briefly at the top, intensely contracting the abdomen, then descend in a controlled manner to the starting position. The key is avoiding swinging your body using momentum. Execute 3 to 4 sets of 6 to 12 controlled repetitions. For beginners who can't yet do the complete movement, start with knee raises to chest, which maintains the same benefits with lower difficulty. The main errors to avoid are using momentum and swinging instead of pure muscular control, letting the shoulders relax hanging passively, and arching the lower back during the movement, which nullifies core work and can cause injury. Contraindications include disc herniation, especially lumbar, that can worsen with spinal flexion under load, shoulder problems that intensify in hanging position, and extreme grip weakness that prevents holding for the necessary time. But it's not over. There's a bonus exercise you need to know. Bonus exercise, glute bridge. After working shoulders, chest, back, arms, and legs, we can't forget the muscle that deserves special attention, the gluteus maximus. Here's a fact that 99% of people don't know. The gluteus maximus is the largest muscle in the human body, and having the body's largest muscle well developed brings extraordinary metabolic and functional consequences. First, larger muscles burn more calories, both at rest and during exercise. Second, the EPOC effect, which is excessive post-exercise oxygen consumption, is amplified when you work large muscle groups intensely, meaning you continue burning elevated calories for hours after training. Additionally, strong glutes are essential for knee protection, as they control femur rotation and prevent the knee from caving inward during movements, one of the main factors in ligament injuries. They also protect the spine by stabilizing the pelvis and avoiding lumbar compensations during practically any movement you make. To execute the glute bridge correctly, lie on your back on the floor with knees bent and feet supported approximately hip-width apart, about 12 inches from the glutes. Keep your arms at your sides, contract your abdomen, push through your heels, elevating your hips until there's a straight line from knees to shoulders. Squeeze your glutes with maximum force at the top, holding for 2 to 3 seconds, then descend in a controlled manner without letting the glutes completely touch the floor between repetitions. Breathing is fundamental. Exhale as you rise, contracting the glutes. Inhale as you descend. Execute 3 to 4 sets of 12 to 20 repetitions, focusing on intense glute contraction. For progression, start with both feet on the floor, then elevate to single leg bridge, or add weight on the hips using a heavy backpack or other objects. The main errors to avoid are arching the lower back too much at the top instead of maintaining a neutral spine, not contracting the glutes completely, allowing the hamstrings to do all the work, and rising too quickly without control or conscious contraction. Contraindications include lower back pain that worsens with spinal extension, knee problems that intensify with flexion, and injuries in the hip region that worsen with glute contraction. If you enjoyed this and want to discover also the best isometric exercises to do at home that create insane leg strength, we left a video appearing right now on the screen showing each one of them better. Don't miss it. Thank you for watching. Until here, and God bless you, my friend.